All right, so today we are taking a deep dive into webcams.
Webcams, yes.
Specifically, the Logitech Brio 4K.
Okay.
We have got just a ton of material to go through today.
Yeah.
I've got reviews,
Okay.
spec sheets,
That chick.
FAQs, forum discussions,
Really?
all about the Brio 4K.
Wow.
But like with every deep dive,
Right.
we have just one overarching question.
Yeah. What's that?
Is this thing worth it?
Is it worth the hype?
Is it worth the hype? Is it worth
$200.
$200?
Yeah.
And is it worth it compared to all the competition out there?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Because we've got,
We've got like Insta360.
it's a 360.
360.
OBSBot coming out with some really cool new webcams.
Like really, really cool.
But even before we get into all that,
Yeah.
one of the things that jumped out at me about the Brio
Okay.
was this close focus.
Oh, yeah.
It can focus from like inches away. Inches away.
Like how close are we talking?
So close that one reviewer was using it to like
wow.
look at the details of a tiny screw
Wow.
under the lens.
Okay.
So imagine the possibilities like for product demos.
Yeah.
If you need to show something really close up,
Yeah, no more blurry.
no more like digital zooms.
Right.
And that just speaks to like how
Logitech is really trying to position this webcam as more than just your average.
more than just a webcam.
Right, more than just your average webcam.
So it's for streamers,
Streamers, yeah.
content creators,
Content creators,
people that need that.
like really crystal clear.
Crystal clear detail.
Yeah, detail and like.
So going through all the reviews,
Yeah.
the overall consensus,
Seems to be pretty positive.
it delivers on the
Image quality,
image quality,
especially with their software.
especially if you use
If you use their software.
the Logitech software.
Right.
But again,
Yeah.
is it $200 good?
It's a good question. Like,
Yeah.
is it really worth that much?
Especially
Right.
because
Yeah.
the big selling point is 4K resolution.
4K.
But most video conferencing platforms
Weren't there yet.
don't even support 4K.
So are we paying for the future?
Yeah. So are we just future-proofing? Or is it just overkill right now?
Right.
And speaking of 4K,
Yeah.
one reviewer pointed out that because of the high resolution,
Okay.
you could actually do like a fake pan tilt zoom
Oh, wow.
with this camera
Really?
because it can digitally zoom and pan tilt
So you're saying like
within that 4K frame.
it's almost like having
It's like having a little virtual cameraman.
like a digital pan tilt zoom.
Yeah, and that's called
They call that pseudo PTZ.
pseudo PTZ.
Okay.
And it only works when you downscale to
Lower resolution.
720p or 1080p.
Oh, okay.
But still,
pretty cool.
think about
Or
how
both.
convenient. You don't have to like awkwardly adjust your camera during a meeting.
Right. No more like
Or
fidgeting with the camera.
fidgeting. Okay, so I love the software side of things.
Yeah.
The Logitech software for the Brio 4K is like
Super powerful.
crazy powerful.
Yeah.
You can tweak everything.
Like every
You can tweak the exposure,
exposure.
the color,
Color.
the field of view.
Field of view.
They even have background replacement.
Oh, wow.
For those days
When your background is
when your background is not
looking so professional.
looking so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, background replacement is
It's super handy.
super handy.
Especially for streamers these days.
Yeah.
And the Brio,
But you'd use it.
it uses infrared sensors to
Yeah.
like
Separate you.
separate you from the background.
Okay.
So you can have like a blurry background.
Uh-huh.
Or even like swap it out completely.
Like a virtual green screen.
It is like a virtual green screen. Without the green screen. But
One reviewer did mention
okay.
that it works best
In good lighting.
in well-lit rooms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They said in low light it can get a little wonky.
A little wonky, huh?
A little wonky.
Yeah. So maybe not for those like late night.
Yeah, not for those late night brainstorming sessions.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it just goes to show you that even with
Like
the highest end,
the highest end.
heck, real world conditions matter.
Real world conditions,
Oh,
lighting,
right,
background
right,
flutter,
all that stuff.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now another feature that really stood out to me
Yeah.
was the Windows Hello facial recognition.
Oh, wow.
One reviewer said that they
I bought it just for that.
bought it just for this feature.
Seriously.
That they live by Windows Hello.
Wow.
And it uses
That
the
uses the webcams
infrared sensor,
Infrared sensor.
secure, super fast logins.
I just look at the camera.
And boom, you're in.
You're in.
And setup is super easy too.
Which is good for busy people.
For busy people,
Yeah.
like our listener.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
let's talk audio.
Audio.
So the Brio 4K has dual omnidirectional microphones,
Oh, that's
which sounds impressive.
impressive.
What's the
The
actual...
audio quality from what I'm seeing is decent.
Okay.
Not mind-blowing.
Not mind-blowing.
It's just the typical
Your standard
webcam.
situation.
Yeah.
So for casual calls,
Yeah, it'll do the job.
it'll do the job.
Yeah.
But if you're like
If you're a content creator,
a content creator,
if you're doing like
You're-
YouTube videos,
YouTube podcast,
Denny,
anything
audio quality is
where audio quality is really important,
really important.
you'll still want a dedicated mic.
You're still going to want a dedicated mic.
Okay. So we keep coming back to this price. The Brio 4K is at the top
Top of the line.
of the webcam food chain
$200.
at $200.
Yeah.
So break it down for me. Is it really worth it?
That is the question. But it brings a lot to the table,
Yeah.
you know?
What does it bring?
Excellent video quality, HDR support,
Uh-huh.
that versatile software that we talked about,
Yeah.
and of course that seamless Windows Hello integration. So for someone who
Yeah.
needs all the bells and whistles,
Uh-huh.
it might be.
It might be worth it.
Yeah, it might be worth the splurs.
But, you know, there's always a but
There's always,
with tech.
especially with tech,
The webcam world is like
constantly evolving
new models
Yeah.
pop up all the time.
all the time.
And we can't forget about like
Those built-in cameras.
those built-in cameras
Yeah.
getting better and better.
Right.
We mentioned Insta360 and HubSpot
Yeah.
earlier.
They're pushing the boundaries
They're doing some,
with AI-powered tracking
yeah, they're doing some cool stuff.
and gesture control.
Yeah, it's like
It's like the future of webcams is happening
right in front of us.
right now.
And like you said, those built-in cameras
They're getting pretty impressive,
are getting really good.
especially with features like
higher resolution,
better light performance.
improved low light performance.
So it's a good time to be a webcam
A
shopper.
webcam shopper.
Yeah, options.
You have options.
You got options.
So you know me, I like to get into the details.
Okay.
I was looking at the specs,
Okay.
and the Brio 4K mentioned something called a Sony Starvis sensor.
The Sony Starvis sensor.
Does that
Oh yeah, I know that one.
ring a bell?
That one's known for its excellent low light performance.
Okay.
It's
So that's probably why.
it's designed to capture more light,
Yeah.
which results in clearer images even in like dimly lit environments.
That makes sense.
So that's probably why reviewers found the Brio 4K to handle low light
Yeah.
better than most webcams.
Better than most webcams.
Yeah,
Okay. And I see it also supports HDR,
HDR.
which seems to be
The big buzzword these days.
a big buzzword.
In video, yeah.
In video these days. Does that
Does that really make a difference?
really make a difference?
In a webcam?
In a webcam.
It can.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
So HDR stands for high dynamic range,
Okay.
and it basically widens the range of colors and brightness that the camera can capture. So think of a scene with a bright window behind you.
Okay.
Each HDR helps balance that out.
Okay.
So you're not just a silhouette.
I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I did see reviewers mentioning that HDR made the image look
More realistic.
more realistic and detailed,
Yeah.
especially in the shadows.
Especially in the shadow.
So it's almost like bringing that like
Yeah.
cinematic look
cinematic look
to your video calls,
to your video calls.
which sounds pretty cool.
It's a nice touch.
It's
Especially if you're in a setting
Uh-huh.
with challenging lighting conditions.
Challenging lighting conditions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Something else that caught my eye
Okay.
was the field of view options.
Oh, yeah, the field of view.
So the Brio 4K
Okay.
offers 90 degrees,
90.
78 degrees,
Okay.
and 65 degrees.
65. So what's the advantage
What's the advantage of having
for having those different
all those
field of view settings?
different field of view settings?
Think of it like choosing the right lens for a photo.
Okay.
So a wider field of view,
Wider?
90 degrees, is
Yeah.
perfect for
Group calls.
group calls or showing more of your surroundings.
Yeah.
You could even use it for whiteboard presentations,
Oh, that's a good idea.
as one reviewer pointed out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then like a narrower field of view.
yeah, like 65.
Like the 65 degrees.
Would be better for like one-on-one conversation
Yeah.
where you want a more
A very-
focused, intimate feel.
Yeah. It's almost like having
It's like having multiple webcams. webcams.
Multiple webcam
In one.
in one.
Yeah.
So it gives
Yeah.
you a lot of
A
flexibility.
lot of flexibility.
Yeah, depending on the situation.
Depending on the situation.
But even with all these cool features,
Yeah.
I did notice some reviewers mentioning some occasional hiccups
Okay, like what?
with the Brio 4K.
Like what kind of hiccups?
Like
What were they complaining about?
a few reviewers reported some issues with the autofocus.
Really?
Yeah.
The autofocus
No Swiss.
on a $200 webcam.
Especially when using Logitech's capture software.
Oh,
They had to like manually toggle it on and off
that's annoying.
to get it working properly.
Yeah.
So you think they'd have,
You would expect a premium webcam like this
yeah.
to have like flawless autofocus.
Yeah, it's just a reminder that,
It's a reminder that even with cutting edge tech,
yeah, you can still have software glitches.
pesky software glitches.
So
It's always a good idea to check for firmware updates.
keep your software updated.
Make sure your software is up to date
Okay.
to minimize those issues.
Okay, so speaking of software,
Okay.
one review mentioned a show mode feature.
Show mode.
What do you think that's all about? Show mode.
Show mode. I don't know.
It sounds intriguing,
It does sound intriguing.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It could be a feature designed for like presentations or demonstrations.
Okay.
Maybe it lets you easily tilt the camera down
Oh.
to showcase objects on your desk,
That would be handy for like an architect
Yeah.
going off a model.
or a designer presenting sketches.
Yeah,
So
like a
it's like having a dedicated document camera built right in.
built-in.
It seems like Logitech is really trying to
Cater to
cater to a wider range of users
beyond just
beyond just video call.
typical video conferencing. They're thinking about like
Those specific
specific needs,
needs,
use cases,
use cases.
which is pretty impressive.
Okay,
Okay.
so let's tackle the elephant in the room again.
The price.
The price.
$200.
$200.
Yeah.
We've talked about the features.
Yeah.
We've talked about pros and cons.
Yeah.
But is it really worth
Is it really worth it?
that $200?
That $200
It
investment.
all boils down to
It all boils down to
your needs and priorities.
your needs and priorities. So if you
absolutely need 4K resolution,
okay,
HDR support,
FTR.
and those advanced software features, the Brio 4K
Yeah.
might be a justifiable expense.
Might be a justifiable expense. I knew a but was coming. But if you're mainly using your webcam for like standard video calls,
Yeah, just like basic video call.
and you're not as concerned with features like background replacement
Background replacement.
or Windows. Hello.
Yeah.
There are definitely more affordable options out there
Yeah.
that deliver excellent image quality.
Right. It's all about finding that balance.
It's all about finding that balance
Yeah.
between features, performance, and price.
Between features, performance, and
You
price.
don't want to overspend.
You don't want to
Got
overspend
features you'll never use.
on features you'll never use.
Right.
Okay, so one other thing
Uh-huh.
that I wanted to touch on.
Okay.
One reviewer mentioned that they bought the Brio 4K
Okay.
mainly for Windows. Hello.
Okay.
And they had previously
Previously
used an Intel RealSense SR400 camera
the RealSense camera.
for that purpose.
Yeah.
The RealSense cameras.
They're known for their depth sensing capabilities,
Yeah.
which are also used for Windows. Hello, facial recognition.
Exactly. But this reviewer found
Okay.
that the RealSense
Okay.
wasn't a great webcam
For other uses.
for other uses.
So do you
So
think
you're asking, like,
the Brio 4K
does the Brio 4K
strikes a better balance?
strike a better balance?
Does it do both?
Does it excel?
Low at both.
In general webcam?
And general webcam use.
Ooh,
Use.
that's a great question.
Well,
Based on what we've seen in the reviews,
yeah.
it seems like the Brio 4K does
Yeah.
a good job
A good job.
of being a versatile all-rounder.
A versatile all-rounder.
It provides a
Yeah.
seamless
Let's see.
Windows Hello experience
Windows Hello experience
and delivers
high quality video
high-quality video.
for various applications.
But you're full of butts today.
Yeah. But as we've discussed,
As we discussed,
it's crucial
It's
to
crucial.
consider your individual needs.
consider your individual needs.
Do you value having one device that does it all?
Right.
Or are you okay with having separate devices
Yeah.
for specific tasks?
For a specific task.
It's a chart off
It's a trade-off
to consider. So,
What does this all mean?
what does it all mean
for our listener
for our listener
who's trying to decide?
who's trying to decide?
if the Brio 4K is right for them,
If the Brio 4K is the right webcam for them,
it means
it means they need to ask themselves
they need to ask
some
themselves
tough questions.
some tough questions like,
Do they see themselves needing
4K resolution
resolution in the near future?
in the near future.
Is HDR support a must-have?
Must have.
Ah,
How important is that close focus
is that close focus capability
capability for
of
those
product demos
product demos
or presentation?
or presentations?
Well,
And for
most
the-
importantly,
is it worth
is all of that worth the premium price tag?
the premium price tag? Especially considering
The alternatives out there.
all the other options.
Yeah.
This deep dive has given us
A lot to think about.
a lot to think about. But now
It's time to turn it over to you,
to you.
dear listener. So we've talked about a lot today.
We have.
You know, from 4K resolution
Yeah.
to HDR to that incredible close focus feature and even Windows.
Hello.
That's a lot.
But I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
And this is something that's been like
Yeah.
bouncing around in my head
In your head.
as we've been talking about all this tech.
What is it?
With technology evolving so fast,
Well,
I
sure.
can't help but wonder,
Yeah.
will dedicated webcams like the Brio 4K eventually
Go away.
go the way of the dinosaur?
Oh, that's interesting.
Because
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
Laptops and monitors
They're already coming.
are already coming with some pretty impressive built-in cameras
Here's your camera.
these days.
Yeah.
And some even have microphones
That rival
that are almost as good as
dedicated audio equipment.
dedicated mics.
Yeah.
So
So you're thinking like,
as those integrated cameras get better,
yeah,
the need for a separate
external webcam?
might decrease
Yeah, for the average user.
for the average user.
Yeah.
Especially
If
if,
those built-in cameras start
they start adding
4K resolution,
HDR, all that
all
stuff,
that stuff.
then suddenly that $200 price tag doesn't look so good
Yeah.
for the Brio.
Doesn't look so appealing.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to like
Convenience
convenience,
and cost effectiveness.
cost effectiveness.
If manufacturers can offer a comparable quality and features
Yeah.
in a built-in camera,
In a built-in camera, that's just,
it's hard to argue with.
it's just easier.
The simplicity
Yeah. Of an all-in-one solution.
of an all-in-one.
Yeah.
So
Is investing
in
this
in a dedicated webcam
in 2024
like the Brio 4K,
to buy a dedicated webcam.
still a smart move in 2024?
I think, yeah.
It depends.
It all comes back to
on your individual needs
your individual needs,
and how you plan to use it.
how you're going to use it.
Like if you're a professional streamer,
If you're a streamer
a content creator,
or content creator,
someone who
the
demands
best
the absolute best
video quality,
video quality
the best features,
and the cutting edge features.
Yeah.
Yeah, then a dedicated webcam.
Yeah.
Like the Brio 4K
like the Brio,
holds its own.
still makes sense.
Yeah.
But for the average person,
Yeah, for someone who just uses it for
just basic
standard video calls
video calls.
for work or connecting with friends and family,
Yeah.
the decision
It's
Go fight
less
for it.
clear cut.
less clear cut.
So you've got to weigh those benefits. You got to weigh the benefits
Of a dedicated webcam.
a dedicated webcam.
Yours
Look
is
at
the
there.
convenience and cost
Convenience and cost effectiveness.
of a built-in.
High quality built-in camera.
There's no
There's no one size fits all answer.
easy answer.
Yeah.
So we've given you a lot to think about.
A lot to think about.
Is the Brio 4K the webcam of your dreams? Or is it a stepping stone to a future
To a future.
where dedicated webcams are
Are a thing of the past?
a thing of the past?
That is the question.
That is the question.
That's the beauty of technology.
Yeah.
It's always evolving.
Always evolving,
Always pushing the boundary.
always changing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes
That's what makes these deep dives so exciting.
these deep dives so fun. We
Makes
get
it
to explore these innovations,
all this new tech.
weigh the pros and
The
cons,
pros and cons.
and ultimately empower you,
empower you,
our listener,
to make informed decisions.
informed decisions.
So tell us,
So what do you think?
what are your thoughts?
Do you think dedicated webcams
Like the Brio
like the Brio 4K
have a place in the future?
have a future?
Or are they destined to become relics of the past?
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your predictions.
Head over to our website,
Or social media channels.
our social media channels.
And let us know
Let us know what you think.
what you think.
Until next time, keep exploring,
Keep exploring.
keep questioning,
Keep questioning.
and keep diving deep.
And keep diving